My name is Ruby Sinreich. I run a local politics website called Orange Politics. I convened the group to talk about local issues, and I just wanted to remind people that everything we're talking about is connected at from the global down to the cellular, and that you can have a huge, huge influence locally. This poster is part of what inspired me to get up here and tell you that we actually have municipal and school board elections going on this fall, for example, and it only takes a couple of thousand people to get someone elected. And there are some of these races, there's quite a lot at stake. We also, I wanted to say in my small group, we talked about labor issues like the UNC housekeepers, the sanitation too. We talked about the police and whether they are or aren't enforcing immigration laws as they should or shouldn't do. We talked about cleanliness downtown. If you were in my group, that's an inside joke. And a variety of other interesting issues, sort of north versus south in Orange County. So I just wanted to remind people that in addition to being part of this global movement, that we're also part of a local community, and I really want to encourage you to get involved at that level. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Do I have more quick, exciting things from small group discussions? I see one. I see two. Come on up, one. Maybe come this way, too.
Hi, my name's Dylan. Just real quick, a few friends of mine, we were in the back looking at news on the internet, and apparently there's about 1,000 of these kind of events, not counting small ones like this one, happening worldwide in about 952 cities in 82 countries.
Hi, I just wanted to maybe put out a proposal or just make everybody aware that in the group that I was working with, we were talking about having a demonstration here today as the game is getting out and people are going out to dinner, just having some kind of chanting and sign holding and like awareness building to people who are coming out from the game today. We were also talking about having marches maybe at another time, but in the interest of holding this space for today, having it be here and having it become something that people are aware of. So if people have any ideas about that or want to talk about that, I don't know if now when is the appropriate time to do that. But. Okay, all right. Okay, and are there any other exciting things from the topical discussions that you had today? Okay, let's move on to working group report backs. So there are some more logistical-oriented working group report backs. I've got Cami, Liz, and Chad on my list if y'all want to start coming this way. And if you have a report back from a logistical working group, come up and let me know.
Okay, I'm Cami, and I'm in the United Communities Working Group. And what we've been talking about today is how to identify systems of privilege and oppression, not just in our local community, but in this movement here. And we think it's important to understand the ways in which we are privileged and to use that understanding, or to channel that understanding into progressive action. We've set up an email listserv for working on that a little bit more. So that's just where we are right now.
Hey, y'all. I'm Liz. I'm from the Education Working Group. First off, let me say how happy I am to see all of you. It is really meaningful to me that you forsook the comfort of your home to be here today, so thank you. The Education Working Group this week has been putting together these wonderful fact sheets that have been distributed here. There are some on the literature table over there, and I have some in these boxes. Also, Allison from our group is working on putting together a library with private donations and from internationalists. So that's going to be happening. And finally, Laurel has told me that Vimala's Curry Blossom Cafe, who was also generous enough to give us lunch today, is going to allow us to use their space on Wednesdays, starting this Wednesday at 7:30, to view some documentaries. This Wednesday at 7:30 is going to be part 2 of Al Jazeera's Meltdown, which talks about the financial crisis and who brought us there. The men who, melted the world, I think, something like that. So people who are interested in flyering or helping to raise awareness for the documentary screening should email Laurel, and if you have a pen and you want to write down her address, I'm about to give it to you. It's laurelshulman@gmail.com. So if you want to help raise awareness for the documentary screening, which I hope are going to be ongoing and show some more great documentaries about the current state of things that we are here talking about. So thank you guys again for being here, and that's all I got from the education group.
Hello, I'm Chad with the media group. The website is live, occupychapelhill.org, so check there for updates. The website is live, occupychapelhill.org. You can also follow on Twitter, OccupyCHC. We are trying to live stream all the events as much as possible. We want your media too, so if you have photos and stuff from today, email them to occupych@gmail.com. We are also in need of some things. Internet. It's hard to get internet. The town wireless is not very good, so if you have an iPhone that can tether internet, or you have an internet card you're willing to donate when we have events like this, let us know. We also need power, generally and literally. My computer's got about an hour left on it, and we have no way to power it, so if you have any creative ideas on how to get us powered, let us know. Thank you.
To piggyback on that media, a note that was left from a friend who couldn't be here, she had to leave early, Lori. She says that she's with the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, and they have a weekly Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. radio show on WCOM, and they are really excited about interviewing people every week who are involved in the Occupy movement. If you want to reach them, you can check out their website, Triangle, WILPF, Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, or you can get their phone number from me or maybe from the media group. So go and talk to them, talk to the community. Also update from legal. The legal line number has changed from what it was earlier. The first number was not a landline. This number is a landline. It's right up here. So if you have any questions, this is the legal line. Copy it down if you have the other number first. Any other working group updates? Yeah. We've got one here and two here. So Sonia, come on up. Come on up.
Hey everybody, did you have a good lunch? Of course, Vimla was generous enough to provide the goods, and thank you for any donations. We saw donations in the cup. Keep it coming. Nelson and I are working hard to keep providing the food, and food and sanitation is our concern. So you've seen me coming around picking up stuff. I've just wanted to request that my time and Nelson's time is limited, and we don't know how long we can go on doing this, day after day. And so we'd be very happy if any of you would come up and say, hey, what can I do for your food committee? Thank you. And just...
I don't know what to say. If you have any sort of donations at all, it's very appreciated. All the money or food that you give, unfortunately, goes right back into your mouths. So I'd say it's a good investment. And we also need more hands. I'm sorry. We also need more hands, especially with the sanitation part. Cleaning up after... Well, first of all, let's start with cleaning up after ourselves, which I think is a good cause. I don't know what else to say. If you would like to volunteer for the Food and Sanitation Department, we have a sign-up listserv thing at the table over there. Sure.
One thing I noticed that maybe we can give more attention to is banana peels and tangerine peels. We all know they're compostable, but if you're going to put it in the bushes, which is a great idea, please put it behind the bush and not in front. And Plastics, we're trying to make a setup so that trash, plastic, and compostables will be set up. Sorry it's not ready yet. We're getting there.
Can I give a big round of applause for food and sanitation? Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, I have logistics, and I have 3 other groups that haven't given a report back. Outreach, medical, translation. If y'all are out there and want to give a report back, please do.
Hey. So I'm from logistics, but also we've sort of subsumed fundraising and supplies, and so we can't do all 3 of those topics. So if anybody's interested, particularly in fundraising, please come see me after the General Assembly. In logistics, we have set up listservs for all of the working groups currently, and the general listserv, everybody's been subscribed, and there's a new list circulating. So, you know, my goal is sort of keep everyone in the loop, so you can either see me, or actually Brian has the sign-in sheet right now in front of him for the listserv, and I'll try to add people this weekend. You know, overall, we were just working on getting this meeting together. If anybody wants to join us, but particularly for supplies and fundraising, we could really use some more people to step up, so see me after. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ainsley. With medical, we have first aid supplies here. We have conventional first aid supplies and also some alternative first aid supplies. We'd love donations, and we'd love other people to join us.
Thank you, medical. Outreach and translation? Anyone from outreach and translation? Legal, do you want to give more? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Eli from Legal. Instead of listing all the possible laws that might be relevant today, I'm just going to put myself out there as a resource. If anyone's planning an action and has specific legal questions, I will try to answer them. So you can come talk to me. I'm a lawyer. Thanks.
Do we have outreach and translation? Are y'all around? Hopefully we can hear from them later if they're not here. Okay, so we're ready for the big first conversation. Are y'all ready? Are y'all excited? It's going to be so good. Okay, so the first question is, should we have a longer occupation here? You know, certainly this has been an occupation. I would love to see if there are a couple of people who want to share some thoughts. Or people, anyone in particular, want to say why they think there should be a continued occupation? I saw twinkles. Anyone want to talk about it? Maybe I can take us back up a couple people. I have 1. Anyone else want to share some thoughts about it? 2 in the back. 3 right here. Who else? Okay, let's start with those 3. Number 1. And maybe 2 and 3 come on up and get ready to speak.
What do you mean by occupation? Do you mean camping? I believe that camps should be set up in order to let the rest of the world know, and the United States, that we're not leaving this idea, that this idea is spreading, and we are going through a revolution itself through 2012. I personally, I go to school in Savannah, so I can't occupy. If I could, I would be here. We have our own Occupy Savannah as well, with camps set up, and we have, you know, tents legally, and we do screenings of documentaries as well. So I would just suggest everyone here to not leave this movement.
Number 2, make your way up here. Also, quick logistics about the mic, right? If you point the mic at the speaker, it will feedback. That's painful. Try not to do that, and hold the mic close to your mouth. And please give feedback if people are not loud enough.
Hello. I think the encampments at Occupy Wall Street and in many cities across America have captured people's imaginations in a way that day-long demonstrations have not seemed to in the past decades or 40 years. I think that this is something that's growing, that has the capacity to build momentum, but I don't think that... Am I not close enough? Sorry. But I don't think that if we all go home and make this an afternoon thing, that is something that builds momentum. I think that is something that shows that we have the capacity to come out for an afternoon, but I don't think that that's actually something that gets a ball rolling. I think that this place can become a focal point for resistance to economic and ecological oppression and destruction. And I think that this is just a jump off for things to come, if we want it.
And my number 3, come on up.
I just want to say that we should at least do this at least long enough for today for the people to come back to along Franklin Street from the game, so that they see us. Thank you.
A hand in the back. We're on the topic of should we occupy? What are people's thoughts about occupation longer term here? Do I have anyone else who wants to get on the stack to speak? You're number 1. Is that 2 here? Any other hands before we go into these? Okay, 1 and 2. Thank you. And 3.
I think the issue I'm having right now is that I'm uneducated on what this is all about, and I'm a part of your guys' generation. So walking by Franklin Street, yes, it's great that I see a group of people, but what does this mean? And I don't think that this is getting the word out enough. I mean, there is a small group of people here, and there's thousands of fans over there for a football game. Like, if this is something that our generation really believes in, then why aren't we taking a larger stand and making sure that the word is getting out there? There's books over there. I don't know what they are for. I grabbed some just to read along the way. I'm a new mother. I don't know what this is going to mean for my children. I don't think the word's getting out there enough. So I would just like to know what's going on. So help get the word out. Let us know. Let our generation know what's going on.
I have 2, and if my 3 and 4 want to come on up so they're close and ready, that would be great.
I think in response to that concern, the occupation is crucial because it allows us the space, it allows us the environment and the community with which to start coming together, to start discussing why we're upset, why we're motivated to be here, and how we differ and how we coordinate, because we're going to have a variety of views, which is fantastic, a variety of approaches, a variety of qualms. So I think that the occupation is essential not only to increase visibility, but also to allow the creation of a space that engages this conversation, that doesn't let it die down when we go home and turn on the football game or whatever people are doing, but instead fosters this energy and this revolutionary potential to actually enact some serious change. So that's all.
Number 3.
Hey guys, my name is Trevor Schmidt. I just think it would be a wonderful idea if we occupied for more than a day. Day, night, that's how the message gets out. And to do this, you have to coordinate with the local authorities. We can't just camp out we have to, make it a cooperative effort. We can't just go against the police. I know there are some people who have negative views of the police right now, but they are part of the 99% too. They are on the payroll tax. They are part of us. Everyone is part of us. These people walking down, they are part of the 99%. And to get that message across, we need to stay every day, every night, and every day.
And number 4.
I'll be brief. I think we need to stay here as long as possible. That's the only way that we're going to keep the conversations going and get people to think and people to realize that there are issues that affect all of us that we don't have the answers to yet, but we want to find those answers, and we want to fix the problems.
All right. Other people want to speak about their feelings of the question, should we occupy for longer here? I see 1 here, 2 here. What else? Anyone else? 1 and 2 coming up. Any other hands? 3? Any other hands? Okay, so 1, 2, and 3, make your way this way.
I'll try to be brief. Because I think someone has to say it, I have a concern about deciding to occupy if we're not able to sustain it in a way that is meaningful, and especially that looks meaningful to the outside. And for example, I'm someone who can't stay here. I'm only able to even still be here now because I have more childcare than I usually have on the weekend. So I was curious to see how many of you think you'd be able to stay here for days or a week. Yeah, raise hands. I just was curious. Okay, not processy. I didn't mean to be all processy.
Can we put that question on after this line?
Yeah. So I just wanted to raise a point. Like, I'd like us to think about what can we do that will be sustainable. Maybe it's staying. Maybe it's something else where we're just here every single week. There's a lot of folks in Chapel Hill who have like a weekly anti-war vigil. You know, something where we can say, you're going to keep seeing us. You're going to keep seeing us, and whatever it is, something that's sustainable.
I would just like to quickly propose that as part of planning our occupation, we collectively decide on a time, either twice daily or once daily, that we can hold a general assembly like this, because I think that being part of this process really draws people here, and that it's very important.
And my three? You hold? Okay, so maybe can we address this question that came up? Do we want to try straw poll, right? So the question would be, who can stay tonight? Raise your hand. Who wants to and can stay tonight? Not just thinks it is a good idea, but can be here, thinks it's possible in their situation. Take a look around, everyone, and see how many we are. Anyone want to count?
I'm at 14 on this part, 15, 16, so I get about 18, 19, I get about 20.
I see 22. Other numbers somewhere in there?
Oh, 21.
Okay.
Count about 4 more.
I'm hearing 22 hands raised plus 4 more promised. Okay, who can stay a second night, potentially? Just to see. And then the question also was raised, who can stay for a long time, right? So I see a few hands.
Does that also mean on and off, or are we including a category where people can come sometimes and not others?
Yeah, I think on and off, but maybe with mainly being here in the night times. I think the big question for people is night times, but also energy and free time in their schedule generally, right? Okay. Do people feel like they have a good sense of where people are at? Do people want to go further into this question? Good sense? Shifts, I think, are possible. We can negotiate all the specifics if people decide they want to stay, but this is just to get an idea. So having that idea of what people's energy and capacity is for staying here. Do people want to talk anymore? Do people have other exciting things or things they want to share about the question of whether or not we should stay or people should stay? I see 1 here, and 2 here, 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here. All of those are true hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. Make your way this way.
I applaud all of you who are willing and able to stay. I would like to say that I think that's an important piece of the movement, and as many of you said, that will get a lot of attention and make people really pay attention. But it is just a piece, and we still need to do all the other pieces that folks are doing, and we shouldn't be too much just about that. But the reason I got here at this moment was to bring up the question that someone said a minute ago, which was, is this intended to be a one-night thing? Is there a way to do this so that everybody's not arrested the first night and blocks from coming back in, so that it can continue? Does anybody know that, what the legal situation is, and do we want to try to figure that out? I mean, you could stay and a bunch of people get hauled off, but then what happens tomorrow? What's the wisdom of that versus trying to find a way that we may be able to stay for a long time?
Good point raised. Number 2.
To answer that really quickly, I know that there are precedents for people camping out here overnight at earlier protests. So this is something that's happened before without there being arrests. Of course, I can't know what the police are going to do. But this is a question with how many of us there are and how invested in this we are. We can't know what it will look like if there's still an occupation here next week. I think it might be worth the experiment, that if we get it off the ground and it becomes a focal point of interest, that as happened in New York, because the Zuccotti Park occupation was much smaller at first, and people flowed into it because they were curious and because they were there consistently. It became a nerve center that people could go to learn what was going on. And that if we try something like that as an experiment here, to see if people flow in, to see if there is the interest, that is going to be the only way really to know if it will work or not.
I just want to say that what's been proposed earlier about us just coming here sort of weekly at weekly, like the Chapel Hill Vigil, is probably a better idea than having us camp out day in, day out, because it would get more people interested, and it would probably get more interest out of others.
I have 2 other people on this stack, and then if you'd like to speak, we put you on. We have 3 and 4.
Hey, one more point. We would appreciate like a donation of sleeping bags or tents if we did stay out, because not everyone has a sleeping bag or a tent, and it would not be very comfortable sleeping on the ground. So that and a working group maybe to coordinate the logistics and the realistic possibility of sleeping out all night.
So I have 2 more speakers and a quick logistical announcement. Coming up, number 4. And then maybe we can make a plan about moving forward.
Hi, I'm curious. Well, I think that we can do a lot of the different things. I think we've come out here, we can sleep. A lot of people could do that. Some people can only come once a week. Some people maybe a couple times a week. I know for a lot of people it's probably difficult to stay overnight. But I also think that in a lot of other places they have a kind of daily or twice daily general assembly in which you show up if you can, you don't show up if you can't. And you know, I think that's a way to keep it very visible and very consistent and very long term. Don't feel like you have to be there every time.
Nice side. And then my announcement friend, are they back?
Hi, my name's Vicki. I just wanted to put the idea out there that there are those of you who can stay here overnight and those who can't. Those who can't stay overnight, we can come back in the daytime and be here while you guys who spent the night here get to go home and take a shower or go to class or do your work or whatever. So I know there were a lot of retired people here last Saturday. A lot of people from Carroll Woods that I recognized who can come down here different days of the week and just set up shop. Okay, so we can do this in shifts and yet still maintain a presence.
And I have a logistical announcement. It's really exciting.
I'm Rebecca from Media, and I would just like us all to thank Four Corners for letting us use their power and their Wi-Fi for the live stream. So thank you to Four Corners, and if you want to thank them, maybe go in afterward and buy a drink or some food, or but thank you to them.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm hearing that there's a good bit of excitement for having a more long-term occupation. I'm hearing that there are some people who can commit to having a long-term occupation. I'm hearing that there are some questions about sustainability, and I'm hearing that there are offers of support from people who can't stay all the time. What I am inclined to do is to have maybe 10 minutes to do sort of 2 breakout groups. One, to get people together who think that they can stay overnight for 1 or multiple nights to talk to each other, to talk about the feasibility, to sort of coordinate their stuff and let us know, do we have a core group of people who are willing to and can stay overnight? And maybe while they're doing that, the rest of us can talk about what are logistics